back up in this thing. Yeah. Look, in this episode, we finna talk exclusive versus non-exclusive part 2. Numero dos. Looky here. Even if your agent don't know no better, I'ma put my superstars up on game. Okay. And just because I know you special, I'm finna add a little bonus strategy on top. Okay, let's go.
When you talk money, I can hear you. I hear money.
What you say now?
When you talk money, I can hear you. You ain't got money, that's a cold blood. When you talk money, I can hear you. I hear money.
I sorta like a bill collector, finance director, like the banks ain't lending up down. So when you ain't got money, then you start sounding funny, and I just can't hit on my.
Hey, Bubble on deck. I'm your host, Tamara Bubble. Yeah. Look, AKA your favorite sync superstar, AKA the I Hear Money coach. Yeah. Look, we back up in this thing. Welcome to the show. Look, can I tell you something? It's right about subscribey time. And can I tell you what we finna do? If you new, don't worry, I got you. If you're new to this podcast, I need you to drop that 5-star review like you know what to do. If you don't know where to do it, let me tell you where you could drop it. Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts. Look, get it how you live, pick your poison. I don't care where you listening. Give me that review if this is the first time you watch it. And then come back over to this YouTube, because I like to let you hear money while you see me live and in the flesh. And then looky here. I need you to go ahead and become a subscribee, because once we get 1,000 subscribers, I'm finna go live. Look, I don't know what can happen when we go live. I might be answering questions. I might be making your whole day. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah. So do me a favor, real quickly, while this frog trying to hop up in my throat. I know you hear it. Ew. Anyway, leave a comment, like, share, comment, subscribe, do the subscribey things, and then let's sit back and we finna hop up in these gyms. We finna talk exclusive this, exclusive that, non-exclusive whatever. Look, I'm finna be your don't listen to your agent because they don't know what they talking about coach this episode. Yeah. Anyway, first we got to talk about the goals of this podcast. 4 goals in mind, and I was thinking about you the whole time. Okay, goal number 1 is to save you money in your sync business. If you don't got a sync business, I need you to get one real quickly. Look, this is what I need you to remember. Start your sync biz now. I know I told you last episode it was 4 words, but it is 5 words. Start your sync biz now. That's the resource you need to look for. It's a quick reference guide in the Sync Superstar Academy. Boom. Goal number 2 is to make you more money in music licensing. Look, I don't do nothing. Look, the purpose of this podcast, look, the purpose of me being out here talking to you in a room all by myself is to make sure you're making more money in music licensing. I want you to make so much money in music licensing that you don't need to do no side job, that you don't need no hustle. The music ain't your hustle. The music is your money-making machine. And look, your music as an indie artist, look here. That's the purpose. That's the goal of this podcast, to put you up on game and let you hear this money as an indie artist. Okay, goal number 3 is to transform your mindset. And a lot of times, in order for you to open up your pockets and receive the money that's available in sync, you got to open up your mind and get to understanding how sync go. Yeah. So that's why I'm here with these mindset episodes anyway. And goal number 4 is to activate your superstar. And let me tell you something. If you're new to this podcast and you go back at episode 1, I'm going to give you a Sync Superstar challenge real quick. I did it in the comments, but I'm doing this just for all my newbies. If you're new to this podcast, I need you to start at episode 1 and work your way up to where we are currently. We up here on episode 73. Hey there, newbies. See that? Yeah, anyway. Watch all the episodes, and I'm trying to tell you, when you get through these episodes, your mind gonna be blown about the possibilities and the money that you've been missing, that you ain't been hearing and seeing and smelling up in sync. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the sponsor real quick. Okay, look, allow me to introduce you to the Sync Superstar Academy. That's the sponsor for this podcast. Can I tell you, there's resources out here to help you superstar in sync. And when I say superstar in sync, I'm talking 6 figures at a minimum. Look, annually. Look, consistently. Look, indily. Look, you ain't got no label. You ain't got no promo budget. You ain't got no publisher. Hold up, you is your publisher. I'm trying to tell you this for the purpose of this academy. And this academy got some advanced, self-paced, look, self-study, look, music licensing game. And can I tell you, it's worth every penny that it costs to get up in there. And you can finna learn how to transform your mindset and activate your superstar in 30 days or less. It's called the 24-hour Sync Superstar Activation Challenge. Take it when you ready. Look, ain't no pressure. When you trying to make some money, you come see me about it. Okay. Visit syncsuperstar.com. You come see me about it, and I'm going to teach you everything I know. Okay. Look, before we get up in this episode, let's talk about the disclaimer, and then we finna hop up in it. I just need to tell you real quickly, this episode specifically, I'm finna give some might call it legal advice. Looky here. Some might say, look, in a former life, Bubble, was you a lawyer? And I'm going to be like, no, because I'm not. All I do is hear money. But when I got advice to give you, sometimes it might sound like legal advice. Look, sometimes it might sound like I'm your lawyer. Sometimes it might sound like I'm your CPA, because in a former life I was. And can I tell you, I'm not. Look, can I tell you, this ain't that. All this is a podcast, look, developed for edutainment purposes only. This is a podcast. Look, this episode ain't got nothing but my personal opinions. Okay. This is not professional, business, legal, or tax advice. And if you know that, let's go up in here and hear this money. Bubble on deck.
When you talk money, I can hear you. I hear money.
What you say now? You ain't got money, then you start sounding funny, and I just can't hit on my. I keep it moving like the tax collector, like the credit checker, let the whole world pay full price. Then if you ain't got money, then you start sounding funny, and I just can't shake that right.
Okay, now let's get up in this thing. And look, and I know some of you might be figuring out like, she talking about some part 2 exclusive. The last episode was not nothing about no exclusive, and not, I know. This is a fact that I know. Can I tell you why we out here talking about part 2 when we didn't cover part 1 last week? That's because part 1 is episode 35. I need you, if you're new to this podcast and this is the first episode you watching, stop. I'm trying to tell you now, this is a smart podcast, and this podcast will hold in place on pause while you go watch episode 1, which is episode 35, which is exclusive this versus non-exclusive that. You have to see that first for any of what I'm about to say makes sense. I'm trying to tell you now, if you don't watch it, you're just going to be confused. And then you're going to go watch it, and then you're going to say, oh, that kind of makes sense. And then you're going to have to come back and watch this again. So do me a favor real quickly. Pause this episode. Go back and watch episode 35 because that's part 1. Okay. Now, the reason why it's out of order is because look, life be lifing. And when something comes up in life and I feel like, oh, I got to let my superstars know. Look, I got to put my superstars up on game. Look, these agents might not even be knowing what they talking about. They out here pitching your music and repping your music. They don't even understand sync. So can I put my superstars up on game real quickly? Okay, good. We finished it on pause real quickly while you go watch part 1. And now that you watched part 1, we finna cover this because looky here. It's real simple. The bottom line of this episode is that the exclusivity, the non-exclusivity or the exclusivity of your sync representation agreement, has absolutely nothing. It got zero to do with the non-exclusivity or the exclusivity of the placement deals that you actually license. The two different animals. You over here talking about this is a pig over here, this is a cat over here, or this is a bear over here. They ain't got nothing to do. They don't get along. They don't know each other. Yeah. But I'm going to connect some things later on in this episode, but I'm going to make this point right now. Okay. If you sign your song to a non-exclusive agent, I'm trying to tell you now, look, that does not limit your non-exclusive agent from pitching to exclusive or non-exclusive briefs. Okay. The briefs that come in. Okay. Those got deal terms on whether the license, okay, the sync license, the actual use is going to be exclusive or non-exclusive. Okay. So now, if you got a non-exclusive agent, that don't mean they can only pitch to non-exclusive sync deals. That means other people are pitching, because I done explained to you what exclusivity is. You got to go back and watch part 1 if this ain't making sense to you. I'm trying to tell you now. Go back and watch part 1. All right. So now, if you got a non-exclusive agent, they are allowed to pitch to non-exclusive briefs and exclusive briefs. They are allowed to exploit the music. But the fact that the representation is non-exclusive, it means that your songs are with other agents. And now here's the problem with that, because it could get hairy, it could get messy, it could get nasty. If you got multiple non-exclusive agents pitching the same song to the same brief, it's finna get messy because the music supervisor gonna be getting they're looking for music out here and they keep getting the same song on the same brief. They're gonna be mad at everybody. Can I tell you? You messing up money for everybody. That's why For Goodness Sake is no longer non-exclusive. I started off non-exclusive just to let people live and take their music wherever they feel. But it gets messy. And I'm not messy when it comes to sync. I'm professional. So anyway, if you sign your song to an exclusive agent, that don't mean they only gonna get you exclusive sync placements. Okay, I'm trying to tell you, representation, exploitation of your music exclusively with one party just means I'm the only person pitching it. For Goodness Sake is the only person pitching it. Or whatever agent you sign your song to, they're the only party pitching it. Okay, that's what that exclusivity of representation is. Which parties are the ones that are actually allowed to pitch, represent, admin, and clear the record. So if your song is with a bunch of non-exclusive agents, okay, and maybe they're not being messy and maybe one of them pitches it and gets you a placement, now we'll talk about the actual deal and those ramifications. Okay, so now if you get a non-exclusive placement, that ain't nothing. That means your song is being rented to one party and it could be rented to a bunch of other parties. Okay, look, you can license that song to as many people as you want to if all of the agreements are non-exclusive. If all of the sync deals, if all of the licensing placements, if all of the uses are non-exclusive in the terms, you can continue to license that song. I think I got one song right now is in like 3 different placements, all airing at the same time. Like, okay, look, we get money from everybody. That's just the benefit of a non-exclusive license. They pay less for that. I'm trying to tell you, if somebody pay you for an exclusive license, they're giving you more money so that a whole bunch of people ain't using that song. So now that you got this exclusive license, this exclusive sync deal, this exclusive use that limits the license or the use or the future uses during the term. The term is going to matter because here's the thing. Your exclusive deal could be for a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 3 years, 10 years. Look, don't do a perpetuity deal exclusively because then that brand or that whoever licensed it got it forever. Anytime you're doing a perpetuity deal in sync, it need to be non-exclusive. And that's typically seen in TV and film because they got to keep that song locked in that place for the life of this film. Look, 10 years later, the film ain't gonna change the lyrics. 10 years later, the film ain't gonna change locations. 10 years later, the film ain't gonna change the actors. It's gonna be the same film 20 years from now. So that's why they need perpetuity, but it's always non-exclusive. Now, back to the ads, back to exclusive licenses, because that's where you're gonna see it. When your agent or you, if you're pitching direct, if you're superstarring out here, you're doing both. I'm assuming. Ew. If you don't know how, I need you to go ahead and take that 24-hour Sync Superstar Activation Challenge so I can show you the way. Anyway, when you pitching and getting an exclusive license, it limits you for the term. So the longer the term, the more money they should be paying. You should be hearing more money with every day they add on there. Now, when a brief if a brief comes to me as an agent and I see the deal terms, I know how long the song is going to be locked down. But here's the kicker. Sometimes they'll be in a rush and they need to license your song and use it, and they'll give you the terms and let you know how long this song is going to be locked down. Once that is confirmed and licensed in an official placement and the license is active, you don't want to be in breach of contract. So you need to notify all parties involved. Look, if you have the song with different sync agents non-exclusively, you need to let them all know there's a license on deck. It's signed, it's confirmed, and it's active during this term. You can't license this song depending on the type of exclusivity. Now, there's a previous episode I did called What in the Full Exclusivity that explains that. So I'm not going to go into that. I'm going to put that link in the show notes. Go back and watch that episode. Go back and watch Exclusive This, Exclusive That, Part 1. Go back and watch these episodes so you know what's going on, because I don't regurgitate information. Look, we got to go on to new things. Anyway, when your exclusive license activates, you can no longer... If it's just regular exclusivity, we're going to take the example of regular exclusivity. If you want to understand full exclusivity, go back and watch episode 40. All right. When it's regular exclusivity, that just means class exclusivity. That just means, look, if you license your song for these shades, you can no longer license your song for any other company that's selling these competing shades. No competing brands. If it's anybody in the same class of goods or services, you can't license it. Okay. If you license your song to a cereal brand, you can't license it to competing cereal brands. Now, only during the term. So if you signed the license for a 1 month term, you got to notify your parties. That's the first step. Everybody. Put everybody on blast. Put everybody on notice. You ain't got to send no group email, but can I tell you? Please notify your other co-owners, especially if they got one-stop rights. Because if they out here licensing the song while you done licensed the song or your agent has licensed the song, then look, there's lawsuits coming. Can I tell you? I hear you losing money. Okay, so make sure all the co-owners, I don't care if they own 2%, put them on notice if they got one-stop rights. Do not clear any licenses, okay, during the term for any competing brands in this class of goods or services. Send that notification out. Okay, now, especially send that notification out if you have this same song being repped and pitched by other agents. Because here's the thing, look, if they're repping your music, that just because you got an exclusive license don't mean they can't keep pitching it. Here's the thing. You can't license it during that term. But say you got a 3-month term, right? A 3-month exclusive sync deal placement term. That's how long this use is going to go on. And the competing brands can't use it, right? Look, it takes months, sometimes years, to get placements licensed, confirmed, papered, and doctored, and started. But you don't need to wait until that deal term is completely over with to start pitching the term. Look, if you're trying to superstar, you need to have, once the one term start, you can be lining up the next one. So you should be pitching your music. Okay. Your agent should be pitching your music. But when it's an exclusive license on the table, they shouldn't just be approving it. What they should do is continue to pitch your music. And if a deal comes on the table, they need to present it if it's exclusive deal. Okay. Depending on the terms in your agreement, they shouldn't have the right to just clear exclusive deals and lock you down or put you in breach of contract. So an exclusive deal term is something that you should be notified by your agent or by your co-writers before any of this stuff comes down. Now, if you sign the split sheet and you pitching directly and you use the free template from getmusicontv.com, okay, if you went there and got that free template, the template leaves it for non-exclusive deals. So if you're pitching direct, you, even as the one stop, if you didn't change the words on that template, you don't have the right to clear an exclusive deal. You need to let your co-writers know so that you all can know and notify each other if there's already an active exclusive deal on the table. You don't want breaches. You don't want lawsuits in sync. We just want to hear money. Okay. But the strategy of it all, and this is the nuggets and the gems that I do. Look, this is the solution that I give to you. Depending on how long your exclusive deal term is, go ahead and start pitching or allow your agents to continue pitching. They just need to notify you if any deals come on the table, because then you do need to look at the dates and see, no, we can't license that. But look, by the time negotiations and things get over with some of these lengthy brief and reply back in round 2 and round 3, by the time they beat and select a song, your other deal will be done. So if you never pitched it, you were never even in the running for it. Okay, look here. The bottom line that you need to know when you're dealing with sync placements in ads, and especially TV ads, most brands, most music supervisors, most music buyers want to know if this song has ever been licensed in an ad before. Most of the times, if it has, they may move on to the next song. Okay, so they won't even use it anyway. But here's the thing. You really don't even have to worry about an overlap or a chance of you licensing a song to a competing brand, because they will normally ask, has this song ever been licensed? And 9 times out of 10, if you tell them yes, it has. If Coca-Cola hit you up and say they want to use your song and they ask, how has it been licensed by any other brands? And you tell them, yeah, I had one little TV placement with Pepsi. 9 times out of 10, they ain't using it anyway. So they finna find out, oh, you don't use it with our competitors? Okay, we see you later. Bye. Yeah. But here's the thing. It depends on when it happened. It depends on where it happened. Look, sometimes they don't want no ad sloppy seconds. And so they would just pick a song that ain't nobody used before. Or they'll just pick a song that at least one of their competitors haven't used. Okay. So just make sure you're not out here pitching all crazy. Make sure you ain't out here with your agents just running around licensing everything and then breach a contract because you just signing papers and not reading these terms. You just signing papers and not understanding this exclusivity. Can I tell you? And I'm going to say it one more time and we're going to get up off of this episode. Exclusivity in terms of sync agency representation has nothing to do with exclusivity of a sync placement or whether or not you can pitch to exclusive versus non-exclusive briefs for those types of sync placements. Bubble on deck.
Look, if you're broke, don't talk to me. I said if you're broke, you can't talk to me. Hey,
I only hear money, babe. You talk money, I hear you.
I hear it.
I hear money.